Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you don't have the chance, go check out our website at justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at justsayingwjs for article and video updates. All right, buddy. Week 7, 1 p.m. games. Let's kick it off right here in New York when the New York Giants host the Carolina Panthers. What are your thoughts on this one, bud?
Yeah, tough week for the Giants last week.
Brutal.
With the favorable match, not favorable matchup with the Rams. And the Rams came in. Matthew Stafford dominated them. It's going to be another tough one this week, but the Carolina Panthers defenses are just playing so well, and Sam Darnold needs a game where he can clean it up, and this is going to be a tough one for the Giants.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks of brutal games for them against good NFC opponents. The Panthers are also coming off of a loss last week, but the way that the Giants was giving up points to a high-powered offense, and the Panthers definitely have that. Wasn't Darnold's best performance against the Vikings last week? They were all over him, held him to under 150 yards passing, but he did have a great fourth quarter drive. The Vikings just, we won in an OT. That's just what we do. But I'm going to take the Panthers in this one. Brutal week for the Giants last week. I think that's going to continue going into this one. I'm very sorry, buddy, but you got a tough offensive matchup. DJ Moore, man, he's been having a great season. Robbie Anderson, I like.
Yeah, and Carolina's defense right now is like the sixth best defense when it comes to points allowed per game. So it's very tough when it comes to the Giants needing to score against this defense. But Sam Darnold, it's time for him to step up. We saw a couple of drops from the receivers last week, but I think it's really the run game in Chuba Hubbard that's going to get it done this week for the Panthers.
Yeah. Also, one thing to note: Stephon Gilmore starting first week with the Panthers. Let's go. This is exciting. So on that note, James Bradbury, Stephon Gilmore, who's going to get an interception or who's going to get more interceptions?
Yeah, I mean, definitely got to put, that's kind of tough because you want to put Gilmore in that top tier where you want to see him get a pick in his first game back of the season. But, James Bradbury is great. And Darnold, I think Daniel is going to have to play a better game this week. Sam Darnold, I think, can still make those mistakes. I want to go with my guy Bradbury on this one. And I think, it's going to take Gilmore a quick second to get this defense down.
All right. I love it. Moving on. New York Jets going to New England, taking on the Patriots. Patriots, another team that lost an OT last week. A lot of OT games last week, it felt like. But what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to hope that it's better than the week 2 matchup that we saw with the Jets. Zach Wilson, 4 interceptions, and they were at home, lost 25-6. You'd hope that this week going into New England that, they're going to be able to step up. But like you mentioned, that overtime loss last week is definitely looming on New England this week.
Absolutely. And they didn't play their best defensive game. And this is a good matchup to just get right back on track with that. Like you said, 4 interceptions. I'm definitely taking the Patriots in this one. Seemed like the only rookie quarterback that was the kryptonite of the Bill Belichick defense was Davis Mills, which is weird. But I do think that they get right back on track against Zach Wilson, give him a really, really difficult day. That being said, I don't know if he's going to throw 4 interceptions again. I'm not going to say, he's going to have that bad of a game. I just think that they're going to make it really difficult for him to find completions. But if he only throws an interception, I think that's a huge improvement against a tough defense.
Yeah, I mean, 9 interceptions right now. You have to ask yourself, they need to start having play calls, looking back at the last game and starting to get Zach Wilson an opportunity where he won't be able to throw those interceptions or get tackled the way he was and pressured the way he was last time. I think that the Patriots do win this game, though. They have been playing well at home. We saw them match up with the Bucs at home. We saw them play a tight game last week against Dallas, a good team this year. And, it's crazy because, both of these teams, higher expectations going into the season than we're seeing right now. And, Mac Jones and the Patriots are, just trying to stay alive right now.
Yep, absolutely. All right, moving on. A little bit of AFC matchup or rematch of the AFC Championship game. I mean, Kansas City Chiefs going to Tennessee, taking on the Titans. Dude, Derrick Henry. God. 783 yards already on the season. We're only at week 7.
I know. It's 2 games back to back with 3 touchdowns. I mean, this guy, it's going to be a really tough game to defend him. The Kansas City defense has not been what they've been the last couple of years. We've been seeing them give up a lot of points in these games. And that was his third, 3 touchdown game of the season. This is going to be tough, for the, Kansas City to stop them. But, Pat Mahomes was making a lot of mistakes last week. We hope that he's not able to do that, when they travel this week.
Yeah, Titans going to be down without Caleb Farley for the rest of the season, their first round cornerback. It's going to be brutal for their secondary. This is an opportunity for the Chiefs to get right back on track, seeing a handful of drops from Tyreek Hill that have led to turnovers.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, though, taking all the blame for it, which I think is noble of him. And obviously, I think they're going to come back out here. And this is going to be a really, really good game. I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. They overcame a lot in the second half of the game last week against Washington. I think that this is going to be a tough one for sure. I think there's going to be a lot of points. It's going to be high scoring. I think we're going to see another nail biter. Absolutely. I think at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, they've been here. They know where they need to be. They'll find a way to win the game.
Yeah, and we saw Kansas City, play this team last year, and they were able to get the win. We saw, Tennessee be able to get the win a couple of years ago. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens here. But I am going to go with the Titans right now. I do love what they're doing right now. 4-2. Kansas City's been making some mistakes. Titans have been able to capitalize on teams this year that make mistakes. There's going to be a high scoring game no matter what. But right now, two very low bottom defenses right now. I do like the Titans in this one. I think this is another tough game for Kansas City, man.
I absolutely agree. Moving on, Washington football team going to Green Bay, taking on the Packers. I don't know, man. This one's going to be.
It's like a dirty game. There's like a lot of, scary elements of this where Rodgers plays so well, but this is a tough defense, man. What do you think about this like defensive line that has?
They're 19th against the rush, and I feel like this is going to be one of those weird games where Aaron Rodgers like 153 and Aaron Jones is like 150-2, and it's going to be really frustrating to watch as a Vikings fan, watch them go and work all over them. I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I just feel like the Washington defense on paper is so good. Their overall defense have not stepped up. I mean, again, going back to that Chiefs game I just was talking about last week, first half stellar, only 13 points in the first half. And then by the end of the game, it was like 31-13. It was brutal. And I feel like that's where this team is going to continue to pick up defensively. And I think Aaron Rodgers he's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we saw what he did last week, 3 total touchdowns again. They've been looking hot since that first week loss. Devontae Adams has been great. We're going to see a lot of great running backs in this one. Shout out to them. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon could be having a good game. And J.D. McKissick had a great game last week. I believe he had 8 catches. And, Antonio Gibson's having an amazing season so far. So I believe this is going to be a heavy run game in Green Bay.
Absolutely.
But the Packers no less.
Yep, I agree. All right. Moving on. Atlanta Falcons going to Miami, playing the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle. What a week last week. 10 for 70 and 2 touchdowns, man.
Yeah, I mean, we doubted him in this draft process, the process. Just saying, he could take some time before he's not doing this. And this wasn't even his best game of the season, but this was a breakout game for me, man.
No, absolutely. I think what it is it's when Tua's around, it seems like his game's at the beginning of the season. I don't have the stats offhand right now, but I do remember the very beginning of the season with Tua, stats were looking good. Once Tua was gone, stats began to decline when he had Brissett in.
Definitely.
Tua's back. They're right back on the same page. They know each other. That's the benefit of getting to play with your college counterpart. But this game, this is a toss-up game to me. I feel like this is like a flip the coin kind of game. This is going to be just a slugfest. I feel like it's just not the most exciting teams in the NFL right now with the Falcons.
Definitely. And they both, it's weird because, I feel like the best parts of these teams are their tight ends going to be National Tight End Day. And they got Mike Gesicki versus Kyle Pitts. Good matchup there. Matt Ryan versus Tua Tagovailoa is not the quarterback matchup of the weekend that you're looking for. But I got to remember we were calling with Atlanta. I got to say, I like what their defense is doing. They're staying middle of the pack. They've been able to take on these winnable games this year. I think it's tough with, the way the Panthers are playing and the way that, the Bucs are obviously playing in their division, but Atlanta's fighting right now, especially with Matt Ryan. I like what they're doing.
I'm going to go with the Falcons also. Once you said Kyle Pitts, it made me think about what he did last weekend in London with the 9 receptions, 119 yards and a touchdown. And I think that this is going to be a very manageable defense for them. You know what? I agree with you. I'm definitely going to go with the Falcons over the Dolphins. Moving on, Cincinnati Bengals in a little bit of an AFC showdown up against the Baltimore Ravens, bud. Ooh.
Oh, you got to let me know how you're feeling about this one. I know you were saying earlier before we were doing this, that this, there could be the game of the weekend.
I think this is the game of the weekend. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? The Ravens shut down the Chargers last week. I said the Chargers. I picked the Chargers. They shut down that offense. Eckler wasn't doing anything. Only one touchdown by Herbert. It was to Jared Cook of all people. It was just such an unusual game for the Chargers. That defense was insane, and they are picking it up. Le'Veon Bell's first touchdown. This offense is firing on all cylinders. Rashad Bateman's going to be back in the mix. This is going to be. This is such a good matchup.
Yeah, and it's interdivisional right now, and we expected the Steelers and the Browns to have hot starts to the season. We have seen them have slower starts than expected, but the Bengals having a way hotter start than any of us had expected, and I think it's really, really exciting. What they've been able to do this season with Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon. This is a if the Bengals win this, they're tied at 5-2 for the beginning, for the lead division here in a very tight AFC North race. It's hard to choose because in the last 5 matchups, Baltimore has won all of them dating back to the end of 2018. It's like, who are you going to be going with this? Like, is this the Ravens rushing game here to this weekend, or is it going to be, this Burrow-led offense?
I think that I'm definitely going to go with the Ravens. I doubted them last week, and that's the main reason why more than anything. But don't think that they're going to be able to hold this team to 6 points. I think that this is going to be a much more difficult matchup, just considering that the division that they're in, they are rivals. They know each other. They play each other frequently. They want to win this game. There's going to be a little bit more in this game than what the Chargers game was, if that makes any sense. That this is your rival. If you're 0-16, if you're 0-15. You want to always beat your rival no matter what. Doesn't matter your record. Exactly. You always want to beat your rival. And I think that that's what this game is. So,
yeah, I mean, and that's, for me, it's crazy because when you look at these teams side by side, you're like, Kansas City, Cincinnati, they are right now only 20th in yards per game on the ground. But you look at what Joe Mixon's able to do. You don't know if he's going to get a huge play like last week. You don't know if Jamar Chase is going to get one of those huge runs. But, right now, both these teams are top 10 when it comes to passing defense. So I'm expecting a lot on the ground this week. And I agree with you. When it gets down to it, you got to get in a battle like that. You got to go with the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, like you mentioned last week, Lev Bell got a touchdown. Latavius Murray got a touchdown. Devonta Freeman got a touchdown. It's like the 2017 Pro Bowl team. It's like you can't believe that they're able to do this. But it's John Harbaugh. It's they're Lamar Jackson that's able to just create all these plays and all of these looks. And I think that it's going to be tough for Cincinnati this year, but like at the end of the season, if they play, it's going to be, I think this could be a potential playoff interdivisional matchup.
Yeah. Also, once it goes to Cincinnati later on in the season, it also comes down to the home team advantage. That's just huge in these matchups, as it is in any matchup. But again, especially against division opponent, fans will bring it just that much more.
Yeah, and we've seen Baltimore's fans bring it, just like this year on primetime games and regular day games and away games. But when you come to, when you go to Baltimore, it's a special place to play football. So it's going to be a tough time for them to just go in there to this rivalry because these fans know this team.
Yeah, this is a good matchup. I'm excited. Definitely by far best matchup of the weekend. But that is all the time that we have. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys always for checking this out. Enjoy all the Sunday games. JustSayingFootball.com. Check us out for all our videos. Just saying no GWJS for all of our Instagram content, our articles, video updates as well, and Just Saying Football on YouTube. Thank you all for watching.
Enjoy.